motherfucking episode 2. Wow. All right, we're here. NAG Podcast. We got a brand new one.
We're here.
Yes,
2
sir.
months later.
We got a new one for you guys. All right. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who watched episode 1, who gave us remarkable feedback. I personally definitely wasn't expecting you guys to really vibe with it and like it so much. That positive feedback that we got was
y'all went stupid.
Yeah,
y'all went dummy.
It was incredible. I definitely wasn't expecting that. So
yeah,
thank you to everybody who actually showed interest and watched.
That's crazy. I'm hella thankful. However, I will say this. Can y'all be a little negative next time? Y'all gave us nothing to work on.
Nah, don't give him any flame, bro. We're riding this momentum. Don't give him no fucking flame to that fire. Next thing you know, we're gonna have a bunch of our fucking homies going up in there like, yo, you got a booger in your nose. Like, wipe your shit. Like, fuck is wrong with you, man? Shit.
Oh shit.
They'll probably be like fucking bitching about the camera angles or how they can't see Ed behind my big ass head. Like,
is that his name Ed?
Ed? Yeah, that's his fucking name. His stupid fucking egghead Ed. Or if you want his full government, it's my friend Yusuk Tang Tuyak, bye. But we not gonna. Bro, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good, right? It's all good. All right, cool. He's being friendly today. Now, before I get people in the comment section flaming my ass for talking to a fucking inanimate object over here, let's get down to the topic of today. Now, riding off our last episode, we was talking about how content creation is difficult and how there's a lot of things that are not seen to the viewer's eye for what streamers and content creators go through. I think it's time that we talk about more of the differences between looking at things through different lenses. And what I mean by that is DeeJay here came up with an excellent idea to talk about how video games just kind of don't hit the way that they used to. Now, your topic, I'm gonna let you hit the floor with that one. DeeJay, let them know what sparked this and what really got you thinking about this, because I thought this was sick.
So kind of what have inspired this idea, I ain't gonna hold you out. Like, we were just sitting in a call the other day, and I don't even remember what I was doing, like, low-key, I ain't gonna lie. But for the last few months to honestly almost over a year now, games they just not been hitting the same. Obviously I still play them, I love them, that's a passion of mine, video games, but they haven't hit, they just haven't been hitting like they did when I was 14, 15 coming up.
Yeah,
they just ain't been hitting like they used to, for real. I don't know, I've had a little bit less of a desire to actually sit down and grind for hours upon hours.
Yeah.
Instead of it almost feels like a chore sometimes to just play the game for real.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I definitely share that feeling, and I even went and took it deeper and decided to think about that particular topic in a mental and physical lens. Now, the mental lens is that we look at things different now, and I speak for myself here. I'm basing this off of my own personal experience, but I think let me go away from the we, because motherfuckers gonna be like, who's we, bro? I don't know what you talking about. I can't wait for those comments. Can't wait for those. Because that's gonna come eventually. Because then motherfuckers gonna be like, hey, what the fuck are they talking about?
What you're
bugging.
Shit?
Even let me chill out. But I personally have changed how I look at games from, one decade to another. I'm 31 years old. I was born early 90s. I grew up peak fucking Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? Peak Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. I was 18, 19. That was my, that's when I came up you know, really gaming, and like looking at things through just a lens as a gamer, as someone who just enjoys video games, it's completely different than my perspective now as a content creator. And I feel like when I look at games now, I look at them through a content creator lens instead of looking at them as a gamer. And you know, going from being a casual gamer in fucking 2009 when Modern Warfare 2 came out, and you know, just enjoying games for what they were, you know, getting into Halo just to want to play the campaign and not be super competitive about it. Back when that came out in what, 2001, I was 11 fucking years old.
Yeah.
So like now that, you know, I'm 31 and I you know, I'm a content creator now, I tend to look at video games in a content creator lens. I look at a video game and I go, okay, I gotta look at that, like, how can I make content off of this game? Like, oh, this game's coming out on a Tuesday. I gotta make sure like my headspace and my schedule's clear on Tuesday so I can cover the content, I can play the game, I can stream the game, I can go in to VC with the boys and discover everything for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like a casual, like, oh, I know a game's coming out on Tuesday. Let me go, you know, have the excitement of going and, you know, standing outside the GameStop for 4 hours on a Monday night so that way I could catch that midnight release so I could bring the game home and break night, you know, just playing the game and not have to worry about, you know, being up at a certain time to go and fucking like make content or be the first one with the first YouTube video out or the first TikTok or making sure that I'm on time for stream. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. But I think in these two differences personally hit me really hard because, like, you know, I used to enjoy playing story games and just vibing out like on my own. And I just don't vibe with those kind of games anymore because I think it's partly because of that content creator lens that I look at video games through now. And I would implore people to try not to look at video games through those lenses because it's just not healthy.
It's so detrimental to
Yeah.
to it's so detrimental to your enjoyment of video games to the point where it's I buy games now. Half the time I don't even touch them because I I can look at my desktop right now and tell you what games that I want to play through that I simply haven't touched. Like Doom, bro. I bought both Doom games. I've played an hour of either of them. And I want to play Doom so badly. And I've hardly touched them. And I got Mass Effect, like, for another example. Like, there's so much, like, there's so many good games that I'm missing out on.
Right.
Simply for the sake of content. And I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, because I mean, as a content creator, you tend to fixate yourself on what's in the now or what your main game is. Like for me in particular, those who follow me in the socials know that Apex Legends is my main game. So I dedicate a majority of my time playing and enjoying that game, or at least trying to. I mean, enjoying Apex. Like, who the fuck enjoys Apex? Like, my crackhead ass. Listen.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, for some people, like for a while, and for many of us, Destiny 2 is our main game. You know, Destiny 2 just had a big update and everyone's going crazy for it. So it's like when you want to dip yourself into a brand new video game, and then as a content creator, you're thinking about content, you're thinking about you got to maintain a schedule, you got to stay on the grind, on the stream grind, on the content grind. And if what your audience goes to see is, let's say, Destiny 2 or Apex Legends, and they start to see something different, it can be a really scary place to be when exploring new games. So it's like, just adding that kind of like, you know, that kind of thinking, that thought process on top of just like wanting to try a new game and enjoying a new game is like, it's hella like stressful in the mental. And you know, whereas if you're not a content creator, if you're just a person that enjoys video games, you kind of just don't think about those things. You're thinking like, oh, a game's coming out. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna fucking enjoy it. I'm probably gonna beat the shit out of that campaign. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna get my $60-$70 worth. It just doesn't feel the same anymore. You know?
Yeah, nah. It hasn't for a while, honestly.
Like it really hasn't. Like
it's crazy.
It's wild because you know, I'd be the first one to like preach to everyone that, you know, we should just enjoy, like, exercise trying to enjoy games, right? You know, content creators often talk about burnout, you know, mental stress, you know, the grind, you know, all of those things are, you know, you can look at those things and like, oh shit, like this is not the greatest thing to dive into, right? Like nobody wants to be stressed mentally when they're playing video games.
Fuck no.
No one wants to be, you know, going through burnout when playing a video game. That's not what gaming is about. When you started playing video games, you got into video games because they were fun. As a kid, no one was like, what I want to do for the rest of my life is fucking, you know, play video games and doing content creation. Like, you're not thinking about that shit when you're fucking 8 years old. You're thinking about grabbing the fucking controller and just vibing the fuck out, slaying out, or finishing the fucking game. That's all you're fucking focused on. It's the only thing that you want to do.
Ever.
And it's like get back to our roots type shit. Like, let's get back to our roots and let's enjoy games for what they are. And you know, it's just becoming increasingly more difficult to do that when, you know, we're older and we're looking at these things on a maybe not even just a larger scope, but on a completely different scope.
Yeah. It's definitely not so. It's not that it's like on the scale that we're looking at it on things through now is just it's so vastly different from what we used to when we were growing up and just playing shit just to play shit. Now we're playing shit to potentially get a paycheck out of type shit.
Right.
And the mentality of that is so it's hard to say because it's for some people that's their way out, you know what I'm saying? Like streaming, like content creation and shit like that. That's the way out.
Right. It's a good way to look at it, the flip side of things.
But but it's so harmful to your mental and to your physical state, even to the point where you struggle to get out of bed in the most literal sense. And you have such a hard time enjoying things for what they are and what they're supposed to be. Like video games, like they're supposed to be enjoyed for a reason. That's why they made them, was to be enjoyed. They call it entertainment they don't call it entertainment. They don't call it entertainment for no reason.
Right.
Like, it's supposed to be enjoyed. So when you take something that is supposed to be solely for entertainment purposes and you take that and then you flip it to be something that is not intended to be initially, you start to transmogrify it into something that is completely different and something that could be harmful to yourself. And that's what a lot of people do as content creators.
I want to pause you real quick because you said something really either intelligent or really fucking stupid. What the fuck is transmog? Is that a word? Transmogrify? Is that like
transmogrify?
Is that in the fucking Merriam-Webster's dictionary?
Yes, it is.
This guy, like, fucking, you caught me last time with some crazy shit. Now we got transmogrify. What the flying fuck is going on? See, me, I'm the one with the potty mouth. You got the smart mouth, and I got the mouth that just spews a whole bunch of fucking shit. It's just shit. Like, wow,
bro.
Insanity. But no, you're I gotta keep that in my head, transmogrify. I'm gonna use that in the streets one day and somebody's gonna be like, the fuck is this kid on? You know?
Bro, I'm saying, bro.
But you're absolutely right. We took something that was intended for one thing and we flipped it on its side, and now it means a completely different thing. That's not to nullify what it originally means, not at all. It's just how you perceive these things. It's all perspective, right? So that's literally what we're offering here, is the perspective between being a gamer and then being a content creator. And it's like, right?
Being a gamer is easy. Being a gamer is so easy. It's like being a gamer is fun. Like this gaming is one of the most fun hobbies that you could have, that you could think of, honestly.
Tell that to people who play Call of Duty every day.
Okay, you know what? Okay, well we're just gonna, they're over here. They're not even a part of this conversation right now.
Or Apex Legends, or any
Or
competitive
Fortnite.
first-person shooter.
Okay. You know, we'll say this. Gaming, because when I think of a game that I literally pay for now,
Mhm.
I don't, because you like half the time the people that are playing like Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite, um, what else is free? I mean, any other free game
Yeah.
like that you can think of. Rocket League is now free because
Mhm.
it used to not be.
Okay.
But like any game that you pay for, that you pay like physical money dollars for, that you earned or got somehow, that you pay for, you're that the typical like thought process behind purchasing that game is like, I'm gonna enjoy this for however long until either I become bored or until I run out of content
Okay. Yeah.
or run out of things to do or
Right.
run out of things to make up to do. Like
Absolutely.
it it's hard to like that's a and that's like that sounds so fun. Like I'm gonna buy this game. I'm going to enjoy it for 40, 50, 60, 100, 200 plus hours, however long, until I run out of things to do or I find something else that piques my interest, and then I will go buy that and do the same thing on that game, and the cycle just repeats itself over and over and over again.
Right. I mean, it's just you enjoying video games. There's nothing wrong with repeating that cycle over and over and over again.
Exactly, and then
Mhm.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And there's so many games that offer so much, that the companies they say they offer so much, but in reality they just kind of they lack that luster. They lack that something that it's supposed to be, like the Skyrims and the Borderlands 2s, that those games like hit on.
Yeah.
Like they people still play Borderlands 2 to this day, and they play it every single day. And the game's almost 10 years old. Same thing with Skyrim. The game is 10 years old. People still play that every single day. And they find new things to do, new stuff to like new builds to make, new anything, new mods. Mods, oh my god, modding community, they go insane on
Go
those two
crazy.
games.
It goes
They
crazy.
go
Yeah.
stupid. Fallout is another great example. Like there's so many things that people can do and think of to make games like these so much more enjoyable than they already are. It's insane. And then when you take and this is like purely a casual game, unless you are ultra competitive and you speed run, it's a little bit different. But speaking strictly in a casual sense, games like that, it's hard to lose that luster unless you start like unless you physically make it unfun for yourself by either
Mhm.
content creation or something else like speed running.
Right. And I feel like we talk a big game up here.
We
I
do.
mean,
We
again, like
definitely
in
do.
our first two episodes about how like stressful and how mentally exhausting that content creation is, and then how like, even now we're talking about gaming, our perception of gaming changing due to that, and not so much in a positive light. I just want to go on record and say to you all that that's not all that it is, right? That's not all
Oh
that we're
no.
making it cracked up to be. Like, I got into
No.
content creation because it gave me a feeling that I've never felt before from playing video games
Oh
that
yeah.
completely like times 10 my like my passion for it,
Oh yeah.
trying to look for a better word, but it just wasn't coming to me. Sorry, I'm not you, DJ. Jesus Christ. um like, you could have been like, passion. Oh, hold on, let me get my fucking thesaurus out. You could definitely replace that with some fucking word that's like 15 characters long. Like, I'm good. um but
All right, dickhead. Okay. Okay.
all right, I'll put it to rest. I'm done.
All right.
I'm done. I'm done.
That's
So y'all
funny,
start
though.
cutting ass on my fucking on my big ass nose over here, or how I got four
Oh,
eyes,
man.
or I fucking play on controller. Never. Anyways. Um.
Oh,
But that's I'm that's not what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that content creation and getting into content creation and gaming, like, doing those things hand in hand, there's definitely a lot of fun in doing it. Like I have a shit ton of fun doing this podcast here for you guys. I have a shit ton of fun making videos that after I make them, I rewatch them like 10 times. Like I just made a video that was completely brand new to my content portfolio. Like it's something I've never done before, and I had so much fun doing it, and it was super simple to make that it was just I like stuff like that like really boils my blood in a good way. Like it gets me pumped. Yeah. So I don't want to sit here again and have you guys think that we're content creators that genuinely just fucking hate content creation, because this is literally all we're talking about. No, there's a lot. There's a lot more.
There's
enjoyment.
so much more to it. So much more to it. We're just we're literally just hitting like the tips of the iceberg.
Yeah, because like what a lot of people see is like, I want people to see the good parts and the bad parts to it.
Yeah,
everyone sits behind their desk and looks through their monitor about all the joys that people have streaming and creating content. They see all the good. They see Ninja making millions of dollars. They see a whole bunch of guys going and doing competitive gaming and like making money, and like they're getting all these views and stuff like that, but no one sees the road that it takes to get there. So it's a very, very different animal when you figure out what it takes to get to the things that you
places
see
that they are. Yeah.
And this is just another one of those like mental hurdles that changes your perspective. It's just like you're looking at video games through this content creator lens, and it just allows them to not hit before. But I want to touch on what you started to get into, DeeJay, and it's like all the games that like the Borderlands, the Skyrims, even Destiny, games like that. I think that games have changed dramatically over the last couple generations. So now we've talked about like the mental aspect and perspective on why games may not hit anymore, but I think there's also a physical aspect to that, and it's how games are being made now. And games used to be made like, it used to be a one and done kind of thing. You went to the fucking GameStop, you bought your game for $65 and change, whatever the fuck it was. Games was $60, right? You beat the fuck out of the campaign, you played some multiplayer with your homies, and then that was it. There was no patch update here, update this, new season here, new season. You had games that the turnover time for games was like a year. Like after a year, that was the lifespan. The lifespan of the game was over. That was it. The next game in the series or the next game to take over the spotlight was going to come out. And that's what people were playing then. Now,
it's so different.
It's so different. Games are more like a live service now. They make a video game, and the game is going to last you for half a decade. The prime example of the games that people are playing and creating content even on now. Especially games that we main ourselves, Apex Legends, Destiny 2, even games that just came out that are just like, like even you got Battlefield that came out that's going to be probably around for a while, even though it's an annual game. Call of Duty now, even though it's an annualized video game, still has,
those live service elements.
You have Warzone, which is going to continue to expand and going to be a powerhouse in the Battle Royale genre for years to come. Fortnite, which has been out since what, 2016, 2017? So it's going on for half a decade already. Apex Legends is, second on its second year, going on its third now. So we've got games that are staying in the spotlight because they everything's a live service. You have these live updates. Games are being updated on a week by week basis. There are meta changes up the asshole. Like, it's just stuff going on a lot. And you get so hooked into and invested into these games that I feel like when these things come out and they're at their prime, they have the luster, but then after time goes on, I feel like the luster starts to deteriorate. And everything starts to come down.
That's when you get snap, big update, everything changes, and then you're hooked again, and then you're hooked back in, and then it repeats.
It's a constant cycle, and I think what this does is that it goes hand in hand with the mental thing, and I think that what it does is that it encourages people to get back into the game. But so I think that in that happening and creating the game that way, I think that once those updates come and they pass, it's like, okay, what now?
Yeah.
You know, like you might get seasonal updates, but then like once you
Get
go
the big
through that
seasonal update. Yeah, once
you
you get
go
through the
through that
content,
content, it's
then
like, what now? And
Yeah.
it kind of diminishes the enjoyment out of that particular game. You know,
Yeah.
we start to be nostalgic and talk about some of the greatest games of all time. And you know, a lot of those games are not
simple.
games that are live update games. You know, you can ask me what my favorite game of all time is, and I'll tell you all day it's Halo Combat Evolved. That was a game
Ooh.
that was
One and done.
One and
That was
done.
it.
I bought that game when I was 11 years old. I bought a console because of that game. Do you think about it? I didn't spend $60, $70, and I was like chilling. Like, no, that was more like $400, $500 that I dropped just to play a single video game that I played for maybe a year. And then that was it. Then it was on to the next game. You know, if I might have had different opinions about Halo Combat Evolved if it was a different era, if that came out, you know, now and that game lasts for 6 years. After that 6th year, after the game is done, I probably would have been like, you know what, fuck it, that's not making it into the top 5, you know.
Yeah.
But that I feel like also contributes to it. The fact that games do drag on
for a long time.
For a long time. I think, and you could also look at it on the flip side of things. Like, you could take Call of Duty as a perfect example of why Call of Duty doesn't hit anymore, because the games come out way too fucking often. After you get used to a Call of Duty game when it comes out in November, and then the next November you got to get used to a new one. It's like money grab. It just screams money grab. It's like, what the fuck, bro? Like I was enjoying this, and now you're gonna try to make me enjoy something new. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So both ways, it's just I think we've lost that that enjoyment out of games because of how we're conditioned to be now, not only as content creators but gamers in this generation, coming from maybe a previous generation where games used to be one and done, and now that's just not a thing anymore. I picked up Forza Horizon 5 recently, and I'm fucking addicted. There's so much to do in that game. But again, you think about Forza Horizon, it's a racing game. Mm-hmm. It's an open world racing game where, you know, you would think that once you'd finish a story or collected all the cars or gotten all your accolades in the game, it would be done. No, Forza Horizon 5 is a live service game that continues to be updated every week. And we're talking about racing games. You wouldn't think in a racing game this is something that's going to be, you know, continuously updated. You would think that the game comes out, the game is what it is, and that's it. Boom, done.
Yeah. You would think. But it's just not the case anymore. And honestly,
it's just not.
I mean, to a certain degree, I don't think it's so much of a bad thing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, my favorite game of all time, definitely not any live service game that's come out within the last like 5-6 years. And that's easy. And
look at that.
It's just, and that's just like, it's just how it is though. Like, I would dare to wager that most people's favorite game of all time, that doesn't matter how old you are. Well, for the most part, if you're over the age of like 18, 19, I would care to wager that your favorite game of all time, period, is not any live service game that's come out after like 2017.
Yeah.
I would bet $1 a person that your favorite game is probably something to the effect of like a Final Fantasy or an Elder Scrolls, or mine personally, Skate 3. My favorite game of all time is Skate 3. And or something to that effect, like an RPG or a story game of some kind where you get invested. It's something like that.
And that's crazy because Skate 3, right? Skate 3 is a game that has infinite replayability just off the fun factor alone. So like, good. You go in, you play solo, and you could just flip tricks on Skate 3 all fucking day. Like, keep it real. You sit me down with Skate 3, I'd be over there. I'm going crazy for hours just for nothing.
And there were so many. And the best, and I honestly think arguably one of the best parts about the game was there's so many like different bugs that you could exploit, and they didn't do anything with it. They did nothing to them.
And that's the whole thing about the live service games, is that these games are continuously changing. So it's like
It's
if you found enjoyment when it was a certain patch, if they revert that, or if the game feels completely different from one patch to the next, you're like,
fuck is this?
I don't want to do this shit no more. You know, like you're done at that point.
Yeah.
So again, it's a lot of different factors that go into it now. And
If ever comes a time, honestly, I hate to interject here, but if
no,
ever
go.
comes a time that Skate 4 comes out and it's a live service game, they are doing it a disservice because Skate is so good just as it comes. Just so long as they don't do like if you don't do anything crazy to a game and
Yeah.
you make sure it's just quality,
Mhm.
like just make sure the game doesn't like play like shit and you're fine. Like honestly, it's
Mhm.
not very hard to do that. Okay, let me not say that. Let me not say that. It's very hard to do, but it's it's easier to mess it up than it is to just make a quality than to make a quality
Yeah, I mean,
and
I
to run with that product.
can't tell you how many times where we've played a game that, you know, frequents updates, where the
Oh
game felt
yeah.
really really good, and then an update came out and the game felt absolutely horrible after.
Horrid. Yeah.
Just for the sake of, you know, like just trying to make the game a game better, and it's just
And you could see it both ways, but
true.
like
Yeah, absolutely. Because a game could be absolutely dog shit. I've played a number of games where it's been good, update happens, and it's shit. But then I've also played a handful of games where it's shit, and then update comes out, and it's one of the best games I've ever played.
yeah,
So
it's
it can go either way. But
yeah.
I think it's the fact that, you know, when a game comes out, what you see is what you get. It's just not that clear cut anymore.
No, and
It's not at all.
it's not. It's because people's opinions are so much more put into the forefront of everyone's faces, like the general public, the developers, the publishers. Like everyone's opinion is so much more pushed forward now because of social medias and everything like that.
Hmm.
Where if your patch sucks, you're gonna hear about it.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear about it everywhere. Reddit, Twitter, fucking Facebook. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear about it, and you're gonna know that your patch is dog shit. And you better hope that you get it right next time, or else you're gonna hear about it more. And
I
it's
mean,
gonna be that never ending cycle.
and the old version of that was just you know, Metacritic ratings or IGN, GameStop, PSN, Xbox
Yeah,
Magazine, fucking
Game
reviews.
Informer, all
Game
that shit.
Informer. It was, if your game was trash, your review, you got bombed in the review section of every media outlet.
And
Now
people
it's
weren't gonna
like,
buy your game straight up.
right now, it's not only you're getting bombed in the media outlet, you're getting bombed on the media outlet and on social media and on Reddit and here and there. You can't turn around without saying, "Yo, your game's shit."
Yeah,
So
it's
it's like there's so much more to deal with.
yeah.
Um, you know, a game can now get a 6 out of 10 rating, and then an update can come out, and then like that's
Game's a 10.
completely done. The game's a 10.
Yeah.
But you know
Or
that,
your game could be a 10 and you get an update, you get a patch. Next thing you know, that game's a 2 or a 3.
right,
It's
it could be
just
the other way around.
it could be so the change could be so drastic in either direction that you don't know whether or not like that's why people are so hesitant on actually purchasing games now. I've noticed, including myself. Like I'm
Yep.
so iffy on actually buying a game because I don't know if if it's going to be good on launch or if I'm going to have to wait for an update of some kind or a hot fix or a something to make this game actually either playable or good. Like the and there's some games that I will buy on release and it's really good, and then next thing you know, an update comes out and the game's complete dog shit afterwards. So there's a reason I know, and we're talking all this hot shit, but there's a reason why a lot of people are just stick to free to play games and call it a day, and will just and they will nickel and dime themselves to death on that because they like it and they know what they're getting into, other than paying $60 for a game like Cyberpunk that they thought was going to be so good, and then it ends up being a buggy piece of shit. And they got
Yeah.
to wait a year and a half to get a patch to make the game playable.
Yeah. Um, and I think, listening to our conversation, I think we can really chalk a lot of this up to generational differences. Because
Yeah,
there was one in particular thing that I'll call back to that you said earlier was that, you'll somebody might have been born in 2005 where their favorite game is Fortnite
yeah,
or Call of Duty Warzone or even Apex
yeah,
Legends because that's what they're growing up on. They growing up on these live service games where they're so accustomed to the frequent updates that these are going to be their favorite games because this is what brought them in. And consider that anyone who's born in that generational era is also going to be very accustomed to the content creator way of things.
yep,
So their love for the game is going to always be seen through those kinds of lenses. If you
yep,
choose to adopt that as something that you're into. Now you could still play the game to enjoy the game, but you're still going to go watch your favorite streamer play the game. You're still going to look up YouTube videos on your favorite game. You're still going to do all of these things. Whereas, if I'm talking about like when I came up in games in 2005, I was 15. I was looking at things completely different. My
yeah.
favorite games came out from 2000 to 2010. And, it's a very generational thing. I
Oh yeah,
was accustomed to being one and done with games. People who are getting into games now, that our youth now, it's not the
it's
same
so
at all.
different.
So that's also another big thing.
Oh yeah, the
That we
generational gap that
that we
we
have to recognize.
experience, even between you and I, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
absolutely.
It's
Um,
but it's also it's nice that we have this sort of like diversity, especially in age, because we can talk about talk about our perspective on really anything. But in this case, it'd be like our favorite games. Like easily my top two favorite games of all time, Skate 3, and then the Telltale Walking Dead video game season 1. That's my
unexpected, but those are phenomenal games.
Those are my 2 favorites of all time, and it's not because, like, obviously,
Mm,
I came up, I played a lot of like, a lot of shooters, a lot of sports games, like, you would expect, oh, like old 2K or an old Madden or whatever, like, no, I don't give a shit about those games. You kidding me? Like, they none of them really hold like, the only reason why 2K, like, 13 or 2 whatever fucking 2K it was, the only reason why any of those games hold any weight to me is because I played them with friends, and my
mhm.
friends made them fun. It wasn't so much the game themselves. Like 2K, I was like, this is whatever to me. But like my favorite 2K is only because I played it with friends and we just played that. I don't care about the game like as like in general. Like, oh, LeBron James was on the Cavaliers. Cavaliers were a fun like team to play with. And then my friends, that was it. There was no like I had no real connection to anything other than, you know, outside sources.
Yeah.
With Skate 3 and The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, I'm gonna say this right now, and I will admit this. The Walking Dead season 1 is the only game so far to have make me cry. That doesn't happen.
Okay.
So, it's gotta be special, and you have to have a certain kinda connection with the characters within that game to feel such strong emotion to the point to like 2 tears. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, that just doesn't happen often.
That
Like, you'll see a
doesn't happen.
movie and you could see a movie or you could watch like a TV show and a character that you've been watching develop in a TV show specifically, you've been watching them develop for the last like 7, 8 years or more, and then they get written off. So that something horrible could potentially happen to them, or they just kind of move on to bigger and better things, or they're just not on the show anymore. Period. Like you can create such an emotional bond to this fictional thing that you experience um such emotions as like anger, sadness, just anything like that. So like games like that, they don't elicit that type of emotion as much anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I wish happened more, but like you can't, it's not something you can force.
Yeah. And I think drawing off of that, right? You start to speak about like narratives in video games, right?
Yeah.
Where now games are coming out that we're omitting campaigns or story modes, and just focusing on gameplay enjoyment as a whole. And I think that's absolutely fine. I think it's fantastic that developers are choosing to try to make better games by sacrificing narrative. But I think you can't be without narrative. You have to have some sort
Yeah.
of thing to engage you that's outside of a player's control to draw you into the game.
You can't have
That's
one
just
without the other.
right. In some form, like I'll think like Apex Legends is a perfect example where it's a game that focuses on gameplay, but there's a big narrative approach to the game where you have stories of the Outlands and stuff like that. I think battle royales do a really good job of meshing that genre with a narrative, which is something that I didn't expect at all. When you thought about a battle royale game, you thought about a game you just downloaded, you popped in. This is the gameplay. That's the sandbox, and that's the name of the game. Be the last person alive to win. You don't thinking about like oh the characters in the game have relations with one another and XY. You're
Mm-hmm.
not thinking about any of that. It's not that kind of game. It's purely PvP.
Mm-hmm.
I think uh, on a larger scale than what the previous generation has seen, we're lacking a lot of story-driven elements in video games,
Yeah.
um, and something that leaves a lasting impression. Like anyone who's played Call of Duty from 2015 to now would probably argue that the reason why they play Call of Duty is definitely not for campaign. No one spends $70 on a COD game to play fucking campaign nowadays. And if you
No.
do, I'd like to meet you and pick your brain.
Yeah, really though.
Because I'm one of those people. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I bought, when I came up in Call of Duty, playing my first Call of Duty in the original Modern Warfare, I didn't play that Call of Duty to play multiplayer or PvP.
Oh yeah.
I was blown away by the narrative storytelling in both Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. I think when you talk about a military shooter game, I think those are probably the two, one of the two best
Oh
to do
yeah.
it when you talk
I
about
I don't
campaign.
disagree. Yeah.
You talk about, like you even got games that are still holding up that mantle to this day now, like God of War, right?
Oh
Where God
yes.
of War probably one of
Now
the most awarded video games to not really feature
any like player
PvP
versus
element,
player
right?
of I
In the
yeah.
last 10 years, it was incredible. Um,
Yeah.
but it's like we need. I would love to see more of that, where games that are one hit wonders but leave lasting impressions on you. Like games like The Last of
Yeah.
Us. There's not enough of that.
Yeah, there isn't, and I wish there was more, but it's one of those things where it's hard to come by. Like the I guess the rehashed God of War, the one that came out in like 2018, I believe.
Yes.
That was oh my god, one of the best games I've played
Hmm.
probably ever. So good, and there was so much that I
Yep.
missed out on that I didn't get on the first playthrough that I want to get back to, like all the story behind all the Valkyries and all that. There's so much that I missed that people I think more people need to experience stuff like that, like more people need to experience the new God of War as well as the old God of Wars, and then Last of Us, stuff like Uncharted as well. Like, there's so many games that a lot of people miss out on because, like, "Oh, there's no PvP, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
Like,
It becomes
like,
heavily underrated.
it's such a narrow it's such a narrow-minded like, it's such a simple way of looking at things. Like, some people, like, I feel like I want to implore some people to just give, like, The Walking Dead a fair shot because it's such a good game. The gameplay is extremely simple, and your decisions quite literally impact the story and how it
Yeah.
progresses, how characters interact with others. It's such a unique perspective to think of. And then games that branch off of this idea even further is Until Dawn or something like, the Dark Pictures anthology. I can't remember who makes them, but things like that where you look not through the lens of one character specifically, and the decisions that you make with this one person affects everything else that they do.
Yeah.
It's you're looking through the lens of multiple people within the same game,
Mm-hmm.
and these decisions that you make affect relations with like they affect your interpersonal relationships with other characters within the game. And I just want there to be more of that, and I want more people to experience it.
Yeah. It's incredible to me that that games have changed so dramatically in a span of like 10 years.
10 years.
We've gone to games being just what they are, to games as a live service. VR's on the rise, and I mean, eventually we might get things, if we don't even have it already, things as complex as what you see in like Sword Art Online. For those of you who enjoy anime, right? Stuff like that, where your physical body, you're in the game. You're experiencing that. That's the virtual reality. Where we kind of already have those kind of things, like even in something like Destiny, let's say, like it's like live service games where you're immersed so much into the communities and the stories that are being told within that universe, that you create your own world and reality within that. And I think
and not to mention all of that, but you sort of end up creating this power fantasy. Especially for people that have been playing since Destiny 1. Like, you create such a power fantasy of, like, being this, like, quite literal god killer, having all these magnificent weapons that are quite literally at your fingertips. It's it there's not much like it. It really isn't.
It really isn't. But I think what we really would get things back to, well, not get things back, but to show a little more love to something that would drive what we're talking about today probably into the ground, is to just giving games more of a narrative, giving games more of that soul, where like there's a narrative storytelling within the game, and like it's not a game that requires there to be constantly updated to have it be good. And I think we still get those kind of games, but I feel like they're not portrayed they're not in the limelight as like they used to be. And I think that's why we're starting to look at things as like they're not as they just are really lackluster now, that we're just not excited for them at like we used to be. And I think it's a generational thing. I think as kids we're more excited to get our hands on something than we are as adults, because we're so conditioned to how
we're so accustomed to how things are.
There's just so much going on now that to focus and hone in on one thing and be excited for it, it's just very few and far between. And I think we should I would love there to be more games that pay a lot more attention to narrative storytelling, because again, I'm a content creator. Apex Legends, I used to play Destiny 2. Before that it was content creation on The Division. I've been I've been around so many different video games, but like I've been searching lately so bad for something to take me away from
just all the hyper competitiveness.
The hyper competitiveness and the content creation, and like I picked up Forza recently, and I played so much fun. A great racing game. If you're looking for, if anyone out there is like, I did a little review.
He did a review. So good. Please check it out. It's very good. I
gotta tell you.
Listen, I gotta give it up.
All right.
It was good. Right. It was good as fuck. Literally, like it was simple, but it was executed so well. Like I'm telling you, check that shit out. But if you're like, but deadass, if you're looking for a good racing game, And if you are a person that used to like enjoy stuff like Gran Turismo or like anything like that back in the day, I'm telling you right now, Forza Horizon 5 will blow any of that shit out of the fucking water
Yeah, very easy to
by a
pick up.
mile. It is so good.
Lots of
That is an
content.
easy cop.
Very easy to pick up. Beautiful game. In a racing game, you can't really ask for anything
much more
much
than
more.
what it is.
Mhm.
And not to mention the fact that if you are either on Xbox or if you're on PC, especially if you're on PC, get Game Pass. They were running a promo. It was like 3 months for $1. Forza Horizon 5 is free on Game Pass. If you wanna give it a shot, it's like it might be if you're brand new
Can't
to
beat that.
Xbox, get it for like a month for free. If you sign up for Xbox and all that shit, play it and just give it a shot, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be worth your while for that $10, and
Mhm.
you can either choose to keep reading up that $10 or just pay the 60. I'm telling you that $60 is gonna be you're going to get more than your money's worth
More than your
out of
money's worth,
that.
right?
Even
Yeah, and
if you
by
get
the
the $100 version, I
Mhm.
guarantee you will get your money's worth and then some
By
if
the
you just keep
way,
playing the game.
while we're the fuck at it, Microsoft, cut us our fucking check. Cut me to check right now. Cut
Check.
DeeJay to check right
Cut
now.
the
Stop
check,
playing
bro.
around. Not like we just didn't,
Free promo.
give you a little free promo. But
Well,
honestly,
Big Flute
seriously,
Solo, come on now.
going back to Forza,
Yeah.
it was just like I was looking for something to chill and play on my downtime, and I'm a very picky gamer now, and I think that's because of everything that we're talking about right now.
Yeah, it is.
And when I pick up Forza, I force myself to just chill and play the game by myself. I can't tell you how many times people have asked me, people in my
Including
Discord DMs
myself,
like, "Yo,
and you
let's
egoed me.
let's play." Let's play some Forza, man. And I'm like, I don't want to play this game with nobody. I don't want to even be in VC when I'm playing this game because I want to be able to enjoy a video game without having to look at things in a co-op, PvP, or content creator lens. I don't want to be reminded of those things.
Yeah.
And when I made this apparent, and I told this to a friend of mine, and I told this to my friend, and then literally a week later, I made a fucking video about it. I get a text message like, "Why the fuck are you making content for the game you told yourself not to make fucking content about? You're still looking at it through that lens. You fucking idiot. Stop doing that. You're not gonna enjoy the game anymore. You're gonna be going on Forza like, how can I make this video? How can I make this video?" Instead of being like, "Yo, why don't you take 30 minutes to just drive around the map?" Because that shit is just a vibe. Like you can enjoy the game by just literally doing nothing in the game, by just driving around. So it's like you it's got to be that balance of both things, of games that you can just pick up and enjoy, and then other games that you can pick up and have goals towards that you want to play, i.e. playing the game as a content creator or just having a fun time gaming. I think that if we achieve that balance, I think we can revisit this conversation and be like, hey, guess what, games are hitting like they used to again, because we have variety. We don't have this always on, always live, like there was a
sort of mentality.
Yeah, exactly. And like y'all could be in the comment, call me a fucking boomer if y'all want to. My old ass was playing video games. I want that narrative, story driven element back, and I want all of those things back. I want that feel of being excited for a game back. Although there are games that I am excited about, like I even though I don't play Destiny 2 anymore, I'm excited for Witch Queen. I'm excited to
play
see
Witch Queen.
I'll play Witch Queen.
Oh shit! Okay, that's a big
I'll get into
All right.
Witch Queen.
All
Now,
right. Okay.
Destiny's a hard pill to swallow because to thoroughly enjoy Witch Queen, you have to be playing the content. You got to be playing the content from whenever you stopped till when Witch Queen comes out.
Actually,
you gotta enjoy things.
Actually, no. With Witch Queen, there's a lot of For anyone that does play Destiny, it doesn't even matter. Let's not get into it. But I'm just saying, like, you're not going to need to catch up. Like, you can just enjoy this for what it is.
That's fair. It's just like
it's going to be a little bit easier to swallow.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's the enjoyment that the player who plays the game every day is going to enjoy the game in a different way, or maybe even a lot more than someone who's just picking up the game and just trying to catch up when they haven't played for a year or two. You know, like so. You know that's a whole thing that is like
It's
I
yeah.
we need to bridge that. Like I
It's
wanna be
that's
able to
that
enjoy that.
yeah.
Um, but there's a certain thing where like someone can go ahead and pick up a really good game like God of War, let's say, right? God of War,
Yeah.
that came out in 2018, the remake, which got Game of the
Wasn't
Year, right?
wasn't even
So
you know what's so you know what's funny? It's not even a remake. It is a completely separate
right,
story. But like it's just
it rebooted the
regardless of how
franchise.
yeah, it's a
That's what that was.
yeah, I guess it's a I don't
Guess you
even
could
know
say
how you
that.
would explain it.
Whatever.
However you want to explain it, God of War is just such a good game, period. Like even from just a story standpoint, because of I mean, you could even you could even just market this as a brand new game, and that's something is that someone literally never has heard of, and I'm like, okay, I'm on board. Let's do it. Let's run it. Like, but it's the fact of, I guess part of it, like part of the reason why it was even like just as good as it was, is because of that connection to like even somebody that has minimal knowledge on of the old story, like myself. It was so enjoyable and like the amount of lore that I was figuring out and finding out like while I was playing the game 3 years ago.
Yeah.
It was so good. But
And
also something that sorry, I don't mean to cut you
nah,
off.
go, please.
But something that you mentioned that we want the like those narrative driven games back. You know the funny thing is they never left. We just
You're
had to
right.
find them. You just
You're
have to
right.
find them. That's the only
Yeah.
issue is that a lot of people are just like,
They're not in the
I
limelight.
want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, I want this back. They never left.
You
They
just got to
still
search harder
here.
for them.
You gotta look. It's shit like that now is more like it's more like a hidden gem more than it is like a mainstay. Like you're not gonna be finding games that can you're not gonna be finding like shit like Final Fantasy 7 or 10 or anything that like that. That's not gonna be considered a popular video game anymore. That is gonna be considered a hidden gem or shit like
I
that.
mean, right? Because I mean, and a lot of that has to do with the rise of social media. Again, a generational thing. Because you go on, you log onto social media. I mean, you're gonna see your games that are coming out, right? They're gonna be like, oh, this is awesome, this is awesome. But what's gonna take the majority of the limelight? That's gonna be
Multiplayer
on your
games.
feeds. Multiplayer games.
Multiplayer games.
Your games that are always on. Destiny 2, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, League of Legends, Dota, like all of these games that are continuously
Esports, all that
they're
shit.
never gonna leave that limelight, and they take up so much of it that when someone talks about a new game or something different, it's it gets its 15 seconds of fame, but then it's
And then
often
it just kinda
overlooked.
gets swept on under the
Right.
rug and never to be thought of again.
But like you have games like God of War that can now be timeless, right? And I think that's what we need more of that because God of War came out in 2018. To wrap up what I was going to talk about with that
Oh,
is
yeah.
that it's coming out on PC early next year.
Oh, that's an
It's
easy one,
coming out
boy.
on PC, and
That's a
and
easy cop, easy
that's what I'm
replay for
saying. And
me.
it's like you played the fuck out of it 3 years ago, but on PC coming out 3 years later, you're still gonna be like, all right, this is a
Yeah.
classic. This is
I'm a
timeless. It's gonna be optimized for PC, so it's gonna look beautiful. I'm gonna play it
yeah,
again.
it's gonna go crazy. I'm about 100% that bitch. I ain't gonna lie to you.
This is what I'm saying, though, man. Like, and that game's
Like
not
that
going
game is
to
so
update.
fucking good.
They
They
may
ain't gonna touch that shit either.
they're not
That's the
gonna.
best
It's
part.
just
Like they ain't gonna
nothing to
touch it.
touch. There's nothing to
Like
update.
it's you know what I'm saying? Like
So
they took so long to make the game that they polished it so well. And the crazy part about it is they're making another one. And that's not even coming out for at least another year.
that's what
And
I'm
I'm
saying.
fine with it
Crazy.
because the first one was so good. Like you could take your sweet ass time. Take your sweet ass time. For real. Take your
Do it.
time. Take your damn time. I would please. Cause
Fucking hell.
games like that need the polish.
Absolutely.
They need it to not be perfect. No game's gonna be perfect. There are gonna be bugs. But there just needs to be that polish. It needs to be complete. And I don't want no fucking rushed ass product. I don't want Cyberpunk. I want God of War 2018.
What we don't want to see anymore to make games hit again is stop giving us. If you talk about games and
Stop giving us these rushed ass products.
not
Like
even only that, right? But you look at a burger, right? Let's take games and let's take a fucking you're the burger analogy. When you buy a $60 fucking game, right? I don't want to just get the fucking patty. Analogy. I don't go to the restaurant and be like, yo, give me a burger, and they give you just the fucking patty. I want the whole fucking burger. I want the buns, the lettuce, tomato, the cheese, the burger. You know, sometimes I want a little bacon, whatever. You know, you want the whole fucking the whole burger. Thing. Yeah. Give me the whole shit, because I'm going to eat it.
Yeah. You don't want to just pay for the burger and they give you the patty. They give you the buns, and they give you, no. Let me take this a step further, all right? You say you go to a restaurant, you buy a burger. That burger is like $10.
Mm-hmm.
They just give you the patty on the plate. That's what you get.
Nah,
and not even that. They might give you half of the patty. But speaking of this in a video game sense, a game $60, you just get the patty. Pre-order bonus, you get the buns. Another pre-order package, the lettuce and the tomatoes. DLC ketchup, mustard. Another DLC, the onions. Yep. Another DLC, the bacon, and it just keeps adding on.
Motherfuckers got the whole Five Guys condiments for DLCs.
And then to take it another step further, you pay $3 for the sesame seeds on the bun.
You're like, bro, like, you know what? If I'm at the restaurant and I'm ordering that shit, and my burger is now fucking $125 because I gotta pay extra for all the motherfucking condiments. You can go fuck yourself royally. I'm walking the fuck out. I'm taking my money all the way to McDonald's. Fuck you. Like, I'll get crazy on this podcast right now because that's how it is. That's literally how it is. Motherfuckers will be like, I want ketchup on my burger. They'd be like, yo, where my $30 at? I'd be like, yo, suck a dick. Listen, I don't care if this gets downvoted, if people are aggy because I'm aggy, but that's literally how it happens. That's how gaming can be looked at. It's probably one of the best ways.
That's the best analogy ever, bro. I'm saying, like, I mean, that's going on TikTok for real.
Everything we talked about in the last 30 minutes is put up nicely with this fucking hamburger. That's what it is with this cheeseburger. Like, you're not even gonna get the cheese. The cheese is the fucking DLC that's coming out in 3 months.
I'm saying, yo, this is going on TikTok for real, no bullshit. Watch
it's coming up. But this is exactly what it is, bro. If I'm getting if I go to the restaurant and I get my burger, I want my $60 burger to be the whole fucking burger. If you got DLC content, those is the fries, the drinks, the milkshake, the cookie dessert, if you really want that. And you go, it's 4 or 5 DLCs right there.
It should be everything that you're paying for should be extra.
That's what I'm saying.
Shit beside, like,
stop watering down your video games so that way you could drip feed us content. I'm so over it, bro. I mean, for live service video games, I guess, but if you're gonna launch the whole game and it be a live service and you're gonna drip feed that content, at least be the whole game on launch. Have it be full and complete. That's all we really want. We want complete games.
That's all anyone asks for. It's not so difficult. It's really not. That's all we ask for. I feel like gamers are a pretty simple audience to please. In most cases, obviously, there's going to be those times where we are just difficult just to be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
But give us a complete game on launch. Make the extra shit actually extra. Like additional to the game. Give us a complete game and make the additional shit an actual add-on to the game where it's another whole complete thing. Like as you were saying, like a milkshake, like a side of fries, like that.
It's just making me
we'll be happy. We'll be happy, bro. We'll be happy. It's really not that we're pretty simple to please, but we ask for, I feel like, simple stuff.
Listen,
like, at least in our, like, from my point of view, I ask for simple shit. Like,
I will reiterate it the fuck again. If I'm going to Five Guys and I'm hungry as shit, I'm going
get a double cheeseburger with the bacon and lettuce and the tomatoes and the ketchup, mustard, all that shit.
Give me the fucking burger. The burger's on the menu for fucking $5.79 or whatever the fuck, right? I want to buy that burger. I want to eat that burger. But you know what? If I want to keep going to Five Guys, bro, and let's say next time I want the burger and the fries, bro, down the line, right? When you get your DLC, you get your burger, your fries, your drink. That's it. Like, I will pay you more if the shit is good. It's literally the same thing. You go to Five Guys, if the burger's good, or you go to any burger joint, if the burger's good, you'd be like, damn, that shit was good. I want to try the fries now. The fries come out. Boom. We in there with the fries, with the burger. Like, I will buy more if the shit is good. Don't give me the burger by itself and be like, hey, you think this is good? Man. I'm going to look at you like, yo, you want... I want to fight you now. I want to fight. Because you gave me a burger. And shit, it's not even no salt and pepper cooked with this burger. You didn't give me nothing. It ain't no seasoning on this bitch. I'm tired. Oh my God. I'm walking out. You won't ever see me play your game again. Watch your player base dwindle. I'm talking all sorts of shit. I'll go crazy.
Yo, this man go wild.
Listen, I mean, honestly, that's that. At the end of the day,
but that's how it is, though. Like, how really, it's going on for so long. It's just like
games.
I don't feel like enough people have been saying this shit too. That's the wild part. And it's like something like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I've definitely seen like memes, like, you know, make its rounds on social medias or whatever of, you know, the same analogy, but not enough people are actually saying it on a platform that honestly actually matters. Like, I see shit on Facebook. I saw shit on Facebook like 5 years ago. Like, this ain't gonna get nowhere. Like,
who's gonna read this? My grandma?
Bro, I'm saying, like, who's gonna read this? 13-year-olds and middle-aged men. Like, who's like, who in those two age groups are actually gonna give a fuck and actually say something?
Hey man,
I'm gonna wager like yes,
but I get we on the same page, bro. I'm with you on that one.
Like, no one, like, not enough people have said stuff like this on platforms that actually will matter, if I'm being honest. Like,
yeah, I mean, again, there are other things that take precedent in the limelight. They don't last, you know. And these games that are just, you know, like you said before, hidden gems, they're just not lasting. And the games that, you know, we're on the second year of playing a fucking video game. I'm still waiting for my fucking hamburger buns. Like, Jesus Christ. Clip that out of fucking context to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Why is he talking about this man wants to play games and he's hungry? What's happening here?
That's out of context right there. I got you. That's
Jesus out of context right there. Christ, man. But yeah, I mean, again, if we were to achieve that if we were to achieve that whole burger mentality with games instead of giving it to us piece by piece, I think that would allow people to you know, games would hit again, like they used to, because you get something complete instead of something that was, you know,
half baked. And then
I don't want nothing half baked, bro. Like, come on, man. I don't even get half baked when I'm baked, bro. I'm full baked. The fuck out of here. Jesus. Oh man.
But to put it nicely in a little bow, just give us something complete.
Give us something complete. And and you'll get your 10 out of 10 Metacritic. You'll get your fucking, dude, if there was what is Metacritic's like the Rotten Tomatoes?
Metacritic, IGN.
Yeah, you get your 10 out of 10. You get your 100%. You know, you get all your good stuff.
You get your 5 out of 5s, you know, all that shit. I think the Metacritic is the Rotten Tomatoes of video games, even though neither are reliable on user reviews, if I'm being 100%.
You know, but to be honest, man, it's just give us full video games.
Give us full video game. Like, it's literally as simple as give us full video games. We will give you our $60 or $70 even willingly, and then we will pay more for your extra content if you so choose to make some. Like, it's that simple. It's really that simple.
It's really what it is, and I think we've repeated ourselves, I think 3 or 4 times on the same fucking point.
That's okay. That's okay, because it needs to be said.
It does. It needs to be said. It needs to be stressed. And I think, like you said, a lot of people are not touching light on this issue. So I think I think it's good that we fucking talk about this.
I think people shed light on this just in private. I think there needs to be more discourse on topics like this that are in a public forum.
Yeah.
Which we are doing, thankfully.
Yeah. And shit, on that motherfucking note, ladies and gentlemen, people of all kinds, this has been episode 2 of the NAG Podcast. DeeJay, anything to add when we wrap this up?
Baby? Anything to add? I don't know. Check us out on our socials, on Twitter, on TikTok. Check myself and Haste out on our socials, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Twitch as well. We both stream on Twitch.
All that info is
Check
gonna
us
be
out.
in the
All of
bio.
that shit's in the description. Also in our about page, you will find our Twitter that links both of us there. Same with our TikTok. We also have a link tree. We're gonna
Find
get
everything
all
in
of
one
that shit
spot.
on that link tree. It'll be in one spot, one click away. I think we're recording this on Sunday. Everything goes to plan. This will be out on Wednesday on December, what is that, 15th? It should be out on December 15th. If you're seeing it on December 15th, I got my head out of my ass and we got everything done. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for joining us in this conversation. Please sound off in the comments if you have any ideas. If you would like the podcast, also give it a like. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, don't forget to click that bell.
This is
the No Aimer Gamers. We definitely don't know how to shoot shit, and our takes rarely ever hit the mark. But it's your boy DeeJay and I. We signing off. I appreciate you guys for watching all the way through.
Love y'all.